Hello. In this video, I'm going to do something a little bit different than in my normal videos. I'm going to take off my El Agustin presentation hat. As many people say, I love your presentations, El Agustin. And I am just going to be Austin. Simplemente Austin. And I am reaching about 50,000 subscribers. I'm pretty close. Maybe by the time I post this video, I will have reached 50,000 subscribers, which is crazy. I still can't comprehend that people are actually watching my videos. It's strange when you're just doing this in your house by yourself. You don't actually see that other people are watching them. But anyways, I thought it was time. I'm a little bit past 100 videos to do a Q&A video. So about 2-3 weeks ago, I asked you all if you have any questions for me, and it's very strange that people actually do have some questions for me. So in this video, I'm going to answer your questions. So let's begin. So the first question is from Win YouTube Award or Die Trying 3. What a name. And they say, would you be willing to apply as a high school substitute teacher? Well, I taught it in Ecuador for 2 years, and I don't think that teaching is for me because classroom management is a very difficult thing to do. There is no more of a humbling experience than trying to give out a lesson knowing that you lost the entire class and you still have 80 minutes of that class left. So after that, I don't really want to teach anymore. It's very hard when everyone's just kind of chaotic. Teaching this way is fun because, there's no classroom management. So no, don't think I would want to be a high school teacher. All right, next question is from Michael Bevan, and he says, how can we live with less while having children? Well, Michael, if I have learned one thing in my life, I do not have kids, and if you do not have kids and you give advice about kids, people get very upset at you for some reason. They act like they're better than you because they have kids, like they know more than you do. So I don't know if I can really give advice about kids, but I would say that in the US, what I've noticed about kids compared to other countries is that in the US, we kind of spoil kids in our, when you have kids, your world kind of revolves around them. And then kids develop kind of this overconfident attitude. Whereas in Ecuador, for example, or in other countries, the society doesn't revolve around kids. Kids are a little bit more independent and they understand that it's not all about them. So I think that, it's just dependent on the environment. They kind of just soak up what is around them, but you can teach them lessons as well. I don't know. I don't have kids. All right, Pulse Reload asks, what's the best app to begin learning Spanish? Well, when I learned Spanish, I started with classes. I think that books are some of the best ways to learn. I've used Duolingo. I don't know any specific apps to learn, but ultimately you just got to keep practicing and failing, and then you'll learn the language. Are you planning to go to work, or will you remain a full-time YouTuber? Also, if you get married in the future, do you think you can go on with your minimalist lifestyle? Well, for the first question, I am going to remain a full-time YouTuber. I do enjoy the freedom of this job, and just getting to be creative for a living is very cool. It's a very unpredictable world to live in, and you kind of just have to embrace that unpredictability. But I'm going to continue doing this, and as far as if I get married in the future, I think that you can live a minimalist lifestyle. You just have to find a like-minded partner. All right, next question. Do you think you will continue to live as a minimalist? Is there anything that you feel like you're missing out living this lifestyle? Well, I would say that I have always been a minimalist. I don't desire to have, these like big houses or nice cars. I've just kind of always been this way. So I don't think it would just be more of an intentional change if I went the other route. And no, I don't really think I'm missing out. I think you gain more when you live with less because you're able to have more freedom, options, and flexibility in your life. Moving along. Next question is, do you think it is too late to invest in index funds at 55? I do not know why it would be too late to invest in index funds if you don't want to grow your money over time. It's not like an extremely risky investment unless the stock market just crashes and you want to take out the money right away, but I don't think it's ever too late to start investing. That's just my personal opinion. Wiggle asks, would you be willing to do more vlog/day in the life videos? Well, I have done maybe 3 or 4 vlogs out of all my videos, and gotta say my life is not that exciting. So if I made vlogs, I would just have to make something up. I don't live in a city, so it would have to involve more nature things. But I kind of prefer just making these kind of critical thinking, kind of presentation, think outside the box videos. they're a little bit easier for me to do. But maybe I'll do some vlogs in the future. Let me know if you want some vlogs in the comments. Addie Rackman asks, what is your biggest motivation to be frugal and stay that way? Well, I would say that I have always been frugal. It's just always made sense to me. It doesn't make sense to spend money on something that doesn't bring any value into your life. And I think that being frugal just comes very natural to me. But to stay frugal, especially like in my past job, I was making pretty decent money, but I didn't really spend it. I just kept saving. And just kind of, it makes more sense to me to kind of save money and seek more value in your life of doing what you want. For example, I saved up enough to be able to do this full time and be creative in my life. And, that seems much more valuable than any material possession. And Mitt asks, have you ever considered teaching? Well, I answered that question early on, but I wanted to be a teacher for a long time, but when I started teaching, there's so much to it with the classroom management, planning a lesson just takes so long. I would consider teaching, but kind of not in as formal a setting as a classroom, maybe kind of expanding this channel out a little bit to be kind of a bit more organized education. I don't know how I'll do that, but I think it would eventually head in that direction. Jad asks, would you consider meeting some of your fans? The interesting thing about doing this is that when you first start posting videos, nobody's watching. You're posting, nobody's watching it. And then all of a sudden you just gain this following, and then slowly, if you have good quality content, then it continues to grow. But despite that, it's very hard to comprehend, believe it or not, that people are actually watching these videos for me. Because, I think the average video I get has about 15,000 views usually. And that's like 10,000 unique viewers. So it's like 10,000 individuals. And it's hard to comprehend that, because it's just, I'm in my house, in my apartment, talking to a camera in the room by myself. And then it's an interesting thing. But I would be down to meet people. I think that I would be a lot different than you think I am, because what gets captured on a camera is a lot different than reality in a way. So it would be interesting if I did meet somebody that watches my videos, how they would see me in real life versus like how they perceive me doing this. Do you ever feel bored living a minimalist life? And if so, how do you create excitement in a simple life? I would just say bored as anybody else. I mean, life isn't really too exciting all the time. You find little pockets of excitement, but I think just finding enjoyment in the simple things ultimately leads to a richer life, like going to the mountains or, being out in nature, having a meal or coffee with somebody. Nick asks, is saving gold and silver the best way to save money if the system resets or collapses? Well, I do not have that much opinion on gold and silver. I think that if the dollar collapses, everyone is probably going to be going down with us, and money's really not going to have much value at that point. That might be a controversial statement, but I don't really have an opinion on gold and silver. Okay, this person, I'm going to have to charge them because they asked a lot of questions. Are you an only child? No, I have 2 sisters. What's your zodiac sign? Cancer. Are you Hispanic? No. Do you want to have children? Maybe eventually, but not in the near future. Jen Mears asks, can you teach us Spanish, por favor? El problema es que mi español no es bueno. Puedo conversar, sí, pero enseñar creo que no, porque mi gramática es terrible. Tengo problemas con los verbos y por eso creo que no puedo enseñar español. Lo siento. I'm sorry. Girl on a Swing asks, what's your favorite/ideal summer day look like? Well, I would say going for a hike, having coffee maybe at the top of the mountain, and then coming down and going to get some craft beer and maybe some, fries afterwards. The simple things. And her next question is, are you naturally an early riser? I am not. I wish I could be, but especially with this job, it is very hard to get up when I don't have to. So I always try to get up at least before 8, which might be early to some, but I can't really get up before 7. Have you considered moving back to a South American country? I have considered it, but I don't know if I actually will, because I lived in Ecuador for 2 years, and it's an exhausting thing to live abroad after a while because you're never quite aware of what's going on. And I kind of see the beauty now of just staying in one place and being a little bit more aware of my surroundings. So I don't have any plans right now to live in another country. Whew, this is a lot of questions. Ooh, we still got a lot more. How do you handle the contrasts between your lifestyle and those around you? Well, I do not impose my ideas on other people, and I am willing to change for the group if need be. I don't consider myself to have a very strong personality. I think my personality is pretty neutral, and as long as it's not, going on a $2,000 vacation, I am perfectly fine with adjusting towards other people. How can we change the economic system? That is a big question that I do not know if that I can answer. I think it just starts with everybody making some intentional decisions. What is your weak spot / guilty pleasure when it comes to spending money? I would say I enjoy good food and I enjoy eating out. Every now and then, I'm not crazy, but I enjoy good quality food and I'm willing to spend more money on it. Whew. Being famous, it ain't easy, ladies and gentlemen. What is the most valuable lesson you have learned from Ecuadorians and their culture? I would say to embrace the simple things and just make the most out of what you have. Did you grow up with parents who were geared towards frugality and living with less? I would say no. I don't think that my parents are that good with money. Sorry if you're watching this, Mom and Dad. But no. I think this question is trying to say, have you separated yourself from friends who don't believe in minimalism? I never have had that issue. I think, as I said before, I don't really view myself as a strong personality. I'm pretty neutral, and I think that I can adjust to other people as long as their personality is not too strong. Would you like to be immortal? No, I wouldn't. I think that life would have no purpose. In life, I think you need a beginning, a middle, and an end, so no. Before this next question, I just want to give a shout out to this person, Dinah. She has been watching. She is one of the first people who has ever commented on my videos. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that you're still watching my videos, Dina. Do you compare yourself to others who choose a traditional path in life? Of course I do. I compare myself to other people every single day, and I think everyone does, and I feel crazy most days that I am attempting to do this full time, but at the end of the day, I think there's no perfect scenario, and I think that, you're going to have pros and cons with whatever, and I would rather just pursue the path I want than, conforming to something else. Time Lord asks, are you gay, straight, single, dating? Straight. Brian Perez asks, what are your views on smartwatches? Well, I have never had a smartwatch, but I do not like to embrace too much of this advanced technology because I do believe that it has more harm than good, and I think that it can be very manipulative without even noticing. One of the proudest videos I've made that didn't perform too well is called The Dirty Secret of Capitalism. I probably should have titled that a little bit better, but it was a little trouble figuring that out. But it was about surveillance capitalism, and I just don't want to constantly be under watch all the time, which is one of the big reasons I choose not to embrace this technology. Rosemary asks, do you ever plan on owning a home? I would eventually like to own a home. I personally believe that it is more of a lifestyle choice versus an investment, and I'm not ready for that lifestyle yet. I still enjoy renting and the, not having to fix the toilet, or, if I want to leave whenever the lease ends up, it's not that difficult of a thing to do. Eventually I think I would like the house and kind of whatever comes with that, but as of right now, I prefer renting. And I think that is all the questions. I'm not 100%. I might have missed a couple because there were quite a bit. But thank you so much for supporting my channel and watching my videos. It might not seem like it, but by you showing up and watching my videos is actually translating to keeping these lights on and everything. And, I try to make videos providing as much value as I possibly can, or to get people to think a little bit differently. So just thank you from the bottom of my heart. Muchas gracias. And if you ever want to reach out to me, you can always send me an email. The link's in the About page. And I promise you I will respond unless you are an asshole. Then I won't respond. I'll just ghost you. But that seems to never happen. But anyways, muchas gracias. Que tenga un buen día. Nos vemos, chicos.